I knew I wanted to go natural. But I also had a mindset of knowing things could turn at any second.
It went bad real quick.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Chase Family channel, where we give you a glimpse of our family, where we give you some marriage and motherhood advice, as well as some hair care, skincare, self-care, and some cooking tips, all wrapped in one. So today we're going to talk about how I prepared for my baby's arrival. But before we get into that, make sure you don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you never miss when we post a video. So for my daughter, she was my first. I had never had another baby before her. So I wasn't really sure how to prepare for her. So at that time, I was 26 and we both were 26 at that time. I was gonna be turning 27 later that year. So neither one of us had a child before, so we really didn't know what we were walking into.
This is very complicated.
So one piece of advice that I would give you, if you are a first-time mom, preparing for the arrival of your baby, is to take a parenting class. My husband and I, luckily where we gave birth, the hospital we gave birth to, they offered free parenting classes, and it's extremely helpful. And I say that because it's helpful for me as well as for him, because it taught me how to breathe. It taught me different positions that I could kind of put my body in to prepare for the birth, as well as like during delivery and labor. It showed me, it taught us how to react to certain things that are being said or being done while in the delivery and labor room. So like, for instance, if somebody who's in the room with you says something crazy, they help you they give you advice and tips on how to stay calm.
Woosah.
But it was also helpful for my husband because they taught him like different pressure points in my back that he could press on to help ease some of the pain. It taught him certain things not to say. So for instance, don't say, "Oh, I see the head."
I think it.
Because that will end up making the mother more like anxious during that time. I taught him how to like help me get in and out of bed, or how to walk. It just taught us both different techniques and tips and advice to use during the pregnancy as well as during labor and delivery. So I highly suggest taking a parenting class. If you can find one in your local hospital, clinic, hopefully it's free, or hopefully you have insurance that can cover it. Highly advise it. Another thing I did to prepare for labor and delivery was to practice my breathing periodically. So like I said, I took a parenting class which taught me how to breathe. I would practice that like probably weekly, so that I could kind of make sure that I had it down packed by the time it came to give birth. I put together a playlist of like very calming music. So when I would do my breathing techniques, I would also I would use the playlist at the same time. So I knew that that's how I wanted to do it when I got into the labor and delivery room. I also use a yoga ball. I would sit on my yoga ball, practice my breathing and listening to the music. I would also prepare my mindset, meaning one thing they taught us during parenting class was tell yourself your body is made to do this. You can do this. Literally, when I was practicing my breathing, that's what I was telling myself in my head over and over. Your body was made for this. God made your body for this. God made you to produce children. God made you to give birth. It helped a lot. Prepared my hospital bag at least a month before I thought they were coming, a month before my due date, because like I said, my daughter came at 38 weeks and 6 days. My son came at exactly 39 weeks. So neither one of them made it to the 40 weeks. So I already had a hospital bag packed like a month in advance of their due dates. And I can do a separate video on what I had in my hospital bag. So let me know in the comments below if that's something you guys want to know. What I put in my bags, how did I prepare my bags, all that good stuff. And I packed it so that I was ready for at least 2 days, because even though my son was my second child, I could have left within 24 hours out of the hospital after having him. With my daughter, I had to stay 48 hours because she was my first baby. This was before COVID. After COVID, they were trying to get you in and out, especially if this was your second or more child. You know what you're doing. You don't gotta stay for 48 hours.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
In our case, we ended up having to stay for 48 hours because he was born on that Saturday. And in order for you to be able to leave within 24 hours from my hospital, you had to have had an appointment set with your pediatrician. Of course, the next day, pediatrician wasn't open. It was a Sunday. So we had to stay that extra day in order to, so we wouldn't have been able to meet in the pediatrician's office until that Monday. So we had to stay another day because the pediatrician at the hospital had to come see my son, and they didn't see him until the second day. So that was a whole ordeal. But I'm pretty sure if I was to have another one, or if we would have had him on a weekday, we would have been able to leave within 24 hours. Pack it far enough in advance, not where it's too far in advance, but in advance far enough to where you, if you were to go into early labor, you would be prepared, because you don't want to have that on your mind when you have contractions. Trust me. Also, leading up to your labor and delivery, make sure you get your baby's area prepared where your baby's gonna sleep. In our case, our kids slept in our room. They sleep in our room up until they're like a year. Actually a little bit after a year. So we just made sure we had the bassinet set up, blankets in there, clean blankets. I made sure I washed the clothes. I made sure I put drawers together and put their clothes in the drawers, all that stuff. Again, you are not gonna wanna have to worry about that stuff when you're done having a baby. You're going to be breastfeeding if that's what you choose to do, or feeding them, period. You're gonna be up every couple hours taking care of these babies. You're gonna try to get your sleep in.
You wanna take a nap?
I'm taking a nap here.
Okay, take a nap right there then.
Having this baby here now, trust me, that's not something you want to worry about. So try to get it done as soon as possible before you go into labor and delivery. And my last tip I would say is to, like I mentioned before, have a birthing plan in place, but don't stress over it. My birthing plan for both, my kids, I didn't write it down, but in my mind I was like, again, I want to go unmedicated with both of my kids. I told my husband this is the plan. I want you to be my voice of reasoning. I want you to make sure I ask this many times before they actually give it to me. So that was my birthing plan. Going into it, I knew I wanted to go natural. But I also had a mindset of knowing things could turn at any second.
It went bad real quick.
So I'm not gonna stress over this. Prayed about it, released it to God. I said, God, if you want me to go natural, you gonna make my body do it. If not, make my body prepared to be able to get a needle in my back, because that was one of my fears. I did not want to get a needle in my back. I know people say that the contractions hurt worse than a needle in your back, but I just didn't want to experience, and that's just my part. That's me personally. Things can happen rapidly. Things can turn at any moment. So make sure you put something in place. Don't stress about it. Pray over it and keep it moving. Because when you go into labor, no matter what nobody tell you, it's out of your control at that point. It's a little bit out of your control. Your baby now controls your body. That's all the tips I have. If you guys want to hear more tips and advice on how to prepare for the arrival of your baby, be sure to comment below. Again, make sure you comment below if you want to hear about what I put into my hospital bag when I prepped that for both of my kids. I would love to do a video on that as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss when we post. And other than that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.